Hello, I'm Keyoka, the Awkward Black Nomad. I'm a writer, I'm a dog mom, and I travel solo. My channel is a place for me to talk about bopping around with my two dogs, and I also invite other Black travelers to come down to the channel and tell all their business. Basically, we talk about what it's like being a Black person abroad. If that sounds like content that you are interested in, like the video, okay? In fact, as you filter into the room, please like the video. This is a small way to show YouTube that you enjoy this channel, that you enjoy the kind of topics that we talk about. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, okay? Black folk, we speak when we come into the room. So as you filter in, drop down in the comment section and tell us hi. Okay, say hi. Don't come into my house and not speak to me, sit on my couch, drink up all my lemonade, put the TV on, and not say hi first. Okay? I'm gonna bring my guest. Hi, Shawn.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm happy to have you. So, you are coming to us live from Vietnam.
Yes, Da
What time
Nang,
is it?
Vietnam.
What
It
time
is
is
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning, honey. 8:01. I'm up early.
And we appreciate your presence, and you look beautiful this morning. Like you are
Thank you.
awake for 8 a.m.
I, I know I lounge a lot, but I get up. My eyes automatically open at 7. That doesn't mean I get up. So, but I'm up and ready for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you joining me. Hi, Double T. Hey, girly. Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah. Oh, brown skin girl. Hi. Hello. Yes. Yes. As you come into the room, drop down in the comment section. Tell us hi. If you have any questions for Shawn about Vietnam, put a Q in front of your question. Okay. So let's get into it. Oh, hello from MD. Where's MD? What is that?
Maryland, MD, Maryland.
Oh wait,
Is that
Shawn,
right?
you're from DC? Yeah, yeah.
DC area. Hey, my
Hey.
DMV peeps.
Hi, Ice Coco. Hi, everybody. Okay, so for everyone who, well, I feel like everyone would know this, but you have a amazing YouTube channel where you talk all about your experiences in Southeast Asia. Oh, a lot of DMV love. Hey, y'all
Yes,
are
my
outside.
peeps up in here.
Y'all are outside.
Hey,
DMV,
y'all.
what's up?
We
And
represent.
hey, Key Love, that's my alter ego. That's the what did we decide you were called the other night? You're the Auntie Keyoka or the Keyoka from the future. Oh, you're in DC
Cute.
too, Key Love? Oh wow, everybody.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I didn't know this. I did not know this. What are we talking about? You have an amazing YouTube channel, Queen of DC. A link to that is going to be in the description of this video, where Shawn actually talks all about her life in Southeast Asia, specifically Vietnam, where she is currently based. So I have a question. How did you get started traveling, and how did you end up settling on Vietnam?
Well, let me tell you, I can tell you how it started. In 2016, I traveled to Paris to run the Paris Marathon. And that sparked, wow, this feels really comfortable. I had studied the language and I said, I immersed. I said, this feels really comfortable. Paris felt like Washington, D.C. to me. And I said, I could
Okay.
live here. I could live here and Paris could be my spot. I could come back every year until I move here. And so that's what I did. 2016, I would go back every year to immerse. I had invested in learning the language, private tutor classes, you name it. So I would go back every year to learn the language. But that sparked, I can move abroad. I can live abroad. I could do this. So that's where that desire came. And over those years, COVID happened in 2020. And that's when we had to stop, settle. And I said, you know what? When this is over, giving myself 2 years, I'm out of here. It's time. I don't have a lot of time to waste in terms of seeing more things in life because I'm getting older and I just want to do more things. I want to explore. And that, because of 2016 and COVID, I decided to get my life together, have my 6-step plan, eliminate debt, research, and be out of here in 2 years. That was in 2020. I was gone in 2022, December 2022.
Really?
It worked out to a T. Everything was perfect. I had planned it, everything perfectly. So it was meant to be.
Were you at that point, were you already retired?
No, I left and see, I planned it. So I planned it. I said in September, I would phase out, I would exit my job, the housing, I mean, my house, everything. We're going to be done with that by September. I'm going to fly to my parents' home in St. Louis in November to get them set up with technology because I'm out of here and they need to be learning in technology, get their phones, get their portals set up. And I did that, and I was out in 2022 in December. I did not want to spend the new year because I knew, no, I don't want to spend a new year in the old place. This is going to be fresh and new. And so what I decided, because I wanted to go to Thailand initially, you say everybody want to go to Thailand. So I wanted to go to Thailand, but it was too expensive during that time frame of November, December. It was peak season in terms of the airplane prices. So I said, I'm not staying here. I'm out. They're like, you're not going to stay for the new year? No. I decided to go to Mexico. So I started my journey in Mexico, Mexico City. And I was there for the month. But you know how it is when you're new, what happens, right?
You get the bug, you want to see other places?
No, you overpack.
Oh, listen, that the spirit of overpacking, that demonic spirit of overpacking is still burdening my life.
It
Okay.
is a burden, but I got it out. I got it straight now. But what happened was I started in Mexico City, and one of my goals was just go to the beach, but Puerto Vallarta was too expensive at that time. Again, I'm managing all this because I've done my research. So I said, well, I still want to go to Thailand, but I knew February was a good time to go. So I said,
Hmm.
I'm starting my journey in Mexico City. I've heard great things about it, really enjoyed it. And I said, okay, here's two things I learned while I was in Mexico City, which was a great start for me. See, everything works out how it's supposed to be. Everything happens for a reason. I was in Mexico City. One thing I learned is that my Wi-Fi didn't work there, and it was supposed to. I had T-Mobile, but my Wi-Fi had me stuck in the street at night, just out without directions. And so that's in a new place. That's a little scary because you're like, I'm out here at night. I don't know which way to go. I don't know where I am.
Yeah, been there. Yep.
So, so I was like, okay, that's one thing you got to work on getting your Wi-Fi, and then overpacking. Girl, I packed a medium away suitcase and it was 50 pounds. Do you know I didn't use half that stuff? It was so irritating. And I
What did
have
you
this
put in there?
everything. You imagine people were saying it's cold. So I packed some winter stuff. It was not cold.
To
No,
Mexico?
it was not cold. Mexico City was a little chilly. You could get away with a little sweater, but it was not cold. Okay. And that was coming from a friend from Florida. So she was like, well, it's cold to me.
Hmm.
Remind you, DC, St. Louis, that was not cold. So I just overpacked everything. It was just a mess. And so I said, I'm going to Thailand in February. So I could get a good price on the ticket. I said, I need to order this Wi-Fi. I need to go back. Luckily, my parents, I only left clothes. I sold one thing, couple of things, and gave everything else away. And
Mm.
so, and that's to friends and loved ones. So I know my stuff is taken care of. So I didn't have even an issue with that where, people are hanging on to stuff. Uh-uh. I gave it to loving people. It's taken care of. I didn't have, it's gone, you know. And so that wasn't an issue for me of getting rid of things. And I said, okay, I know that I need to downsize this suitcase. So luckily, all I had was clothes. My parents allowed me to, you know, keep it in my room there. And I went back in February. I bought my ticket to Thailand. I went back in February. I stayed 2 weeks and I was out. I downsized my bag to 30 pounds.
Of course.
I ordered my travel Wi-Fi. I was out. I haven't been back since. So I went to Thailand first. And I was going to bop around Southeast Asia. Every month I wanted to, discover a new place, new cities, new country. And that's how I started in Thailand. And when I went to Thailand, the next stop was after a month was Vietnam. So I explored different cities in Thailand. I went to Vietnam. I did the north, travel from the north to the south. So that's Hanoi, places in between, Da Nang, central, south, Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon. So that's the route I did. And what really appealed to me about Da Nang was it's on the coast. Beautiful beach. I came at a great time. It was hot though. I came in February. So during that time, 2 years ago, it was blazing, but the beach was beautiful and just something about water. And I didn't grow up around water. So I always wanted to live by water, a beautiful sea, ocean view. And that just stuck with me. And I continued to travel around knowing that I want to live on the coast. I want to live by water. And I traveled to different places, Malaysia, which I hold very deeply. That's my second home, if not first, so it switches up. But I traveled to those places, and in Malaysia, we get a 90-day visa. In Vietnam, at the time, it was only a 30-day visa. So when my visa was up in Malaysia, and I was finishing traveling around, I said, you know what? I'm going back to Vietnam. I'm going back to Da Nang. I love the water. That would be a great place to relax. I'm tired, you know, I'm trying to chill. And so I came back and I was like, this feels good. The people, the atmosphere, this feels good. A place I can rest in my 3 months off. And by then, my second time here, they had changed the visa to 90-day visa. So that works perfectly.
And about how long would you say you stayed in each country that first time?
The first time I stayed a month in each country.
Mm.
What happened is because within 2 weeks, I can feel if this is a place for me. And traveling around the different cities, it doesn't take me long. And sometimes you have to repeat places if you haven't given it a chance. For example, here I stayed a month throughout Vietnam, so that was nice. The first time when I went to Kuala Lumpur, I only gave it 2 weeks. And within 2 weeks, I did not discover, I had an issue with the food. I was like, oh, I don't like the food.
Really?
That was because 2 weeks is not enough time. What are you doing? You're touring. I'm just a tourist. I don't have time to really focus on where the hot spots are, talking to locals and getting to know them to say, okay, this is what I'm looking for. You're just out here being a tourist. You're moving fast. And so what I decided to do, I said, you know what? Kuala Lumpur, for many reasons, was on the map for me. I don't think I gave it enough time. I'm going to go back and I'm going to spend time there. And I had to, oh my God, I had no idea how far I was from the US until I had to leave Kuala Lumpur and go to Costa Rica because I had already had a trip set up to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate a friend's birthday. I had no idea that I was that far away. That's that's when the realization hit me. Girl, you are far. You can't keep going back and I didn't plan to anyway, but you can't keep going back and forth like that. You have to really map this
No,
out if you're going.
when I went to China, I lost 2 days going there and 2 days back, And then I feel like my whole body didn't get adjusted to being back home until like weeks
Yeah.
after the trip was over. Like I
We
was still not sleeping well, and I was still waking up at crazy hours.
right. We
It's
are
an adjustment.
far.
Yeah,
It
it's
is an
so
adjustment.
far.
It's so far, even far from Europe, even anything over 7 hours. 7 hours to Japan is far for me, but it's doable, but it's far. And that's what I realized. And so when I had to go back over there, but I gave Kuala Lumpur a whole nother month.
Mm,
And it just changed my whole perspective. I was like, this is my spot. I already liked the city. It was just the food, but I got into the locals. I started meeting
mm,
locals. I started hit where to go for, where do y'all eat? What should I be eating? And so my palate changed to enjoy the food, the diversity of the food, because they're known for their food. And I was like, hi,
I mean, that's what I always
uh-uh.
heard,
Yeah,
but
yeah, but 2 weeks it wasn't long enough for me to appreciate all that it had to offer. And so
so how
going
long do
back,
you but how long do you recommend someone stay in a place to really find out if it's the place for them?
if you have time, I
Mm,
say at least a month minimum. That's why I chose to do starting off each country a month, because I will know within that month if this place is for me.
mm,
I know me, so I know if it's my vibe, if it's just a feeling, because I go where I feel good. And if you're stepping off when you feel a little funny, or your gut tells me, I have a very good sense of discernment, and I listen to what my body is telling me and what my feelings are telling me and how I want to feel. So I know pretty much within 2 to 3 weeks, but you need more time to explore, because you're going to see and learn different things every step of the way. And if you take a month just to say, let me check this out, let me just see. And if I don't like it, I can move around. I can do different things, or I can just leave if I just outright don't like it. But I think
mm,
if you have time, a month, because, for example, Bali, I'm not, I'm not fond of Bali. It was where I stayed was beautiful and the people were nice, but to live there wouldn't be a place that I would choose to live. It didn't take me long to figure that out, but
why is
I,
that?
well, I think it was more so I'm more into local people. I didn't like, it's a lot of Westerners in Bali, particularly where I was and just around. And then it just seems like there was a culture, because it was a lot of Westerners. It was a money grab for locals,
Mm,
rightfully so, because they're trying to sell. You
sure.
got tourism here, you're trying to sell, but it's something about it just felt it wasn't my vibe. That's all. But here's the strange thing about Bali was where I was staying. Very nice, very local, inn, like a homestay, but it was very nice. The owner had maybe about 3 floors. Just the people in the local area I would talk to, because I see them every day and I pass. And I got ready to leave, and I was like, oh my God, I shedded a tear. Don't ask me why, because I was ready to go. Don't ask. And I was like, why am I? I think it was the people. Just,
Mm,
I felt it was peaceful where I was staying. That's why I extended my stay. I was in, what do you call that place? I was in Simiak, around there, around there. And then I moved to Ubud. And so that's where I ended up staying a little bit longer. And it was the peace of where I was staying and the people, the locals in the area. I didn't do a lot. It was too much. I didn't do a lot with tourism and I did do some tours, but not with, you know, connecting with local. I mean, connecting with Westerners or anything like that. And just seemed overrun by it.
mhm,
Just yeah. And so that just I'm not interested in how it made me feel.
mm.
But I was like, I shed a tear. It had to be for the locals, because they were like, bye, bye.
I
So
feel
that's
like I always say this about Albania, but when people ask me why I like Albania or like what I do there, it's my place to rest and it's a place where I feel at
yeah,
peace, and it's the place where like when I'm traveling, it feels like I can have like normalcy, almost like I can get
right.
into a routine and just live my life.
Right, right, and right, and that's how, and that's what I look for because I always say, how do you want your life to feel? You
Mm.
know, what does what, and it's all about the feeling, and so that's what is attracted me to where I go visit. The places I visit, I'm letting them come to me. You know, there are some
Mhm.
places on my list that I want to visit because I just had curiosity about it, but it's they have to come to me. You know, for example, I just told you I went to Japan, right?
Mm.
I spent 2 weeks in Japan, but it took me about 2 years to even be, you know, curious about Japan. I just never was. I don't want. I never understood the hype. I didn't. I'm like, it's like a naturistic country. I don't. What's the big deal?
But what were your
On,
thoughts after you saw it?
after I saw it, I still don't understand the hype, but why people romanticize it. I don't understand why they romanticize it, but I enjoyed myself. I absolutely enjoyed myself. I think I mean, I'll tell you the difference. I really enjoyed myself. It's a walkable city. I'm a city girl, public transportation. I'm all about public transportation. It's excellent. It's walkable. The neighborhoods are, you know, just pretty nooks of neighborhoods, and just the food was excellent too. The food, I didn't have a bad meal in Japan. But here we go based on feel. It's about how a place makes you feel. And they are the first thing I noticed walking around on my first day. I was like, everybody, everybody has on black, some form of black. Everybody is dressed alike. They're all
Mm.
clones. It's really no individuality. It's really homogenous. And
Mm.
so you can feel that, you can see it in particular. And if you go like the work day, all the men, white shirts, black pants, navy pants. Everybody looks alike. Everybody, um, you know, conforms. Yes, you have your trendy areas, but outside of that, I can see it's just more, you know, conform, no individuality. Or and a friend that was there, I was telling her my observation, and she hit it right on the hit the nail right on the head. She said it's a very masculine society. I said that's what it is, very
Really?
masculine. Yeah, and you will enjoy it, but I'm just saying my observation as far as living there, and I'm gonna tell you the difference between there and Vietnam. And people say, "Why?" I say Vietnam. I know everybody has their own experiences, but I have been, particularly in Da Nang, I have been welcomed with open arms. Uh, People have patience with me, giving me grace for not speaking the language. I can ask them 5 times, uh, you know, the same topic. So can you tell me XYZ over and over? And they will be the most patient. They will not rush me. They will try to, even if we don't speak the language, they'll try to help me best they can, whether they take me to the place, they show me the directions, they point. Japan, you got one time. You got one
Really?
time. You got one time to ask them. It's just a, you know, a little a different culture, which is okay. It wasn't a bad thing, and I'm not saying they were impolite. It's just the feeling. You got one time to ask them. You better
Mm.
grasp it and then move on because there's a huge language barrier. They don't speak English. So where in Vietnam, people always ask me about the language barrier. There is a language barrier, but for foreigners, it's a pro because we can say Sin Chow and they are proud. Oh, wow, you say Sin Chow. Oh, you know some Vietnamese. Oh, they will help you. They're patient with you. So it's a difference. And my local Vietnamese friends say, you all get away with so much. Foreigners get away with so much because they are impressed by your little bitty choppy Vietnamese. You can say it wrong and they're still impressed and go out
Mm.
of their way to help you all. And I said, that's absolutely true. So that was the difference. And like you said, you know what the feeling when you travel places. I'm not going to be any place where I feel disrespected, uncomfortable, or like I gotta fight every time. You know, you're always in a battle for whatever reason. So it's the people that draw me back to the place. And so that's
Mm.
why I chose Vietnam on top of the coast, but really for the people. It's the way the people have treated me.
Hmm. Key Love says Japan is stoic and uber disciplined. You know, from what you say, it does sound like Germany. I've made it no secret. I'm not a fan of Germany, and that is because of the people.
Because of the people.
Germans are
Yeah,
really
the people.
difficult.
Yeah, and with Japan, I'm not saying that they were impolite or anything. It's just you like don't push it. Ask them
Mm.
what you need to ask, and keep it moving. So it's like that. Use your Google, you'll be all right. But I didn't. Nobody ever talked about the language barrier, so I had no idea. Vietnam is ranked higher than them in terms of English proficiency than Japan. So I
Mm.
didn't know that. Yes, yes. I think Vietnam is 10, so that's progress. And um, what is it? 18. Japan is 18 in terms of on that English proficiency language score
Mm.
sheet. Yeah. So they're working here. They're developing, and it's a developing country, but they are open and they're learning, particularly in the major cities.
Mm. Okay. Brown Skin Girl has a question. Would you consider
Sure.
Vietnam a soft landing?
Oh my goodness, it's the softest landing you
Yeah.
can ever have. Absolutely. And that's what I tell people. I do pick my brain sessions where I help women, Black women transition to move abroad, whether they're traveling just to discover their peace. And they want a soft landing. They want some place to figure it out sometimes. And Vietnam, from it's the softest landing in terms of depending on which city you go to. Da Nang is the softest because it's a cozy little beach town. It's affordable. You can
Mm.
find whatever your budget is. If you have a $300 a month budget, you can find decent. And I'm not saying it where you be in a rat infested someplace hole. You can find decent housing from $350 on up. It depends on what your budget. It may not be what you're used to, it may be a little, but you can find it and you won't have to suffer. And you don't have to have a roommate. Okay. So you can find something. Food is inexpensive. Here annually, if you can live really nicely for 30, I'm just throwing a figure, $30,000. You can't do that in America and a lot of other places. But and you can do it for less. Some people do it for less, but I'm just saying that's a good round figure. Adding in luxuries, if you add in a few luxuries. And so it's definitely a soft landing. Now, when you go to Hanoi, I don't know. They may scare you a little bit. You'll get a little bit scared with Hanoi because that's the capital. So they moving a little bit faster. And Saigon, I like Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, but it's a
Mm.
faster pace. But there's a difference in all of these regions. But the softest landing is in Da Nang out of the three. Yeah.
Okay, you said it. Don't be mad now when we all go down to the Da Nang and we
I
want to
know.
set
I
up
was like,
shop. Don't get mad when we
I'm
come and
already
see you.
mad. I know. Wait, tourism this year, boom. I mean, it just skyrocketed. It's the most sought after research destination. And
Hmm.
I could tell you that I knew when I came back in January, I was like, things have changed. Where did all these people come from? Where in the world? And I kept telling a friend, where did all these people come from? And my friend who moved from here, I said, girl, you wouldn't even know it now. All these people are here. They need to go back to Bali. They need to go back to, they love Bali so much. They need to go back to Bali and Thailand. I'm
So
like,
let's
yeah.
talk about Bali and let's talk about Thailand and some of the other
Uh-huh.
places in Southeast Asia that have a lot of Western traffic. A lot of digital nomads go
Uh-huh.
to Southeast Asia because they think like, oh, it's very affordable to live there. In my experience, when I was like bopping around Europe, Southeast Asia was the place where, like, if you needed to give your budget a break,
Right.
people would
That's
hop
true.
to one of the countries. So
True.
maybe I'm asking, compare and contrast, give your overview of the
Mhm.
other places and why they necessarily didn't work for you. Is it
Well,
because they were too Western or is it something else?
no, for example, I love Thailand. Bangkok is one of my favorite cities, and Chiang Mai is where I go. That's another resting spot for me. When I need, it's something about Chiang Mai. When I need to focus, when I need to get things done, I go to Chiang Mai. I was just there a few months ago, in April, before I went to Taiwan. I was there. I stayed there a month because I needed to do some things. And I was like, Chiang Mai. I don't have to be outside. I can just rest. I can relax. I don't feel like I need to do anything while I'm there, but just chill. And so that is a great place. So Thailand, I do like Thailand, and I do, and I'll tell you the difference. Bangkok, they have a whole visa issue there. Their visa, they're cracking down on their visas, and so you have to get. When I was there, they gave me 60 days for US citizens. Then they changed it a month after I left, the 30 days. Now it's back to 60 days for a tourist visa, but they have a variety of visas. And
Uh-huh.
the thing why I didn't stay in Bangkok is, for one, the visa situation. Two, the the goal, they want long-term renters. They want you to sign a year lease to get that reasonable, that $500 rent. You have to sign a long-term lease.
Okay. So when you're looking online and you see all these people in Bangkok and what's the other place? Patatia? I see a lot of people in
Patia,
Patia
Patia.
and they're
Yeah.
like $460 for 500. Da, da, da. Those people are signing year-long leases. They're not month to month. They're not doing 3 months or whatever the minimum
Right.
requirement for the visas are.
Right, right. They're
Okay,
signing
gotcha.
they're signing long-term leases because with Thailand also they had some issues with the Airbnb. You could do Airbnb, but you can't do Airbnb. But anyway, the Airbnbs are a little bit higher. They're more expensive, especially if you're looking at a month and depending on where you're located. Not
Mm,
saying that you can't find, but you're not gonna. I haven't seen any decent ones for me for 500 a month, just month to month. If I'm doing month to month,
mm-hmm.
so you really do have to lock in. And Kuala Lumpur is the same way in terms of leasing. They want you to sign a year lease to get the deals. And so those two places, but Malaysia, they have their visas. They have different visas too. I'm not ready to fill out visa paperwork. I'm just not. So those, in terms of staying long term, I don't want to sign a long term lease, and I don't feel like filling out visa paperwork. So that's what's holding me back from Thailand.
Her.
And
I
that,
don't feel like
yeah,
filling out visa. Mm.
right. I don't want to do that. And so with Vietnam, it's so flexible. Vietnam, and they're not taking you through changes. They have a vast inventory of places. It may take you some time to find one, what you want, but it's out here. They're flexible. Everything is negotiable. You're paying a deposit in your first month rent, and that's it. Sometimes, depending on who it is, you might not have to pay a deposit depending on how long you sign your lease. So everything is negotiable. I want some plants. I want a microwave. Oh, okay, okay, we got you, we got you. I want some dishes, we got you. And those are furnished places. So I
Okay.
love the flexibility. And people say, well, there's no long term visa. But with Vietnam, there's an understanding. That's the difference with some of the other places. It's an understanding. We don't have a long term visa. We either have to do the 30, we either have to do the 90-day visa or 30 days, okay? But as long as you didn't break the law or extend, overstay your visa, they pretty much will let you back in. So,
And
It's
is the
that,
process for getting the visa in Vietnam, is it just do you have to actually apply for it, or is it one of those countries
yeah.
where you show your
Look,
passport and walk on
mm-mm,
by?
no, ma'am, you have to apply. A lot of people get mixed up thinking, oh, I can just, no, you have to apply. You have to apply. I always tell people, apply in advance. Give yourself 2 weeks. Because I know people just recently had to cancel their trip because the visa didn't come through. It
Oh,
typically take it typically takes maybe it says on the site 3 to 7 business days. Mine always take 4 business days, but people play around, they wait too late, it comes back, there's an error, they apply during the holiday, all kind of things. But I know quite a few people who have been had to cancel some trips because their visa weren't processed,
and
approved in time, and they won't let you on the plane without it.
how complicated is it to apply for the visa? Do you have to send off your passport? Is there Do you have to apply while you're still in the US, or is it a visa that you can get while you may be in another country?
It's an e-visa, so you do it online. It's a
Lovely.
it's very simple. I have a video on it, 10 mistakes not to make on your e-visa. So check that out if you're looking to complete your visa application for Vietnam, because it's certain things you need to pay attention to. But it's an e-visa. You apply online, you pay your money. Um, it's $50 for not multiple entry visa. It's $50, get 90 days, and then there's a no, 30 was $25 for what, 30 days, these 90 days or something like that. Still 90, but it's not multiple entry. That's what it is. It's not a multiple entry visa. So I don't even pay attention to that one. I give me the multiple entry visa because I'm coming back and
Okay.
I can leave and go within that 90 days. So yeah, you just apply online. But here's the thing: you cannot extend a visa in Vietnam. You can't apply to extend your visa within Vietnam when you're in Vietnam. It has to
Okay.
expire. You have to leave, or you have to go through an agency um, to make sure when it expires, you have another one
And
to.
when you leave, is it I've heard that some people do what we call border runs,
Mhm.
where you can leave for a day and then come back. Is it like that?
Yeah.
Or is it like in Europe where you have to be gone for 30 days?
Well, it's three
Yeah.
different ways. You could do the border run, but you have to do that with an agency, and they
Mm.
work everything out, and they have a bus that takes you to Laos, and it's a day trip, but they said and it's around $200, so you could take a bus trip, a day trip, and come back that same day. The other thing you can do is you can leave as long as you're out of the country by the time your visa expires. You can turn around and come right back. And you can work with the agency to have your visa ready when you land in a different country. And then you could turn around and come back, or within 24 hours. It used to be, had to be out of Vietnam 4 hours, but I think that would be itself anyway when you go to a different country and turn around and come back, for the agency to have your visa ready. Or the third is like me, I typically, that's my vacation time, and I'll travel other places or do other things that I need to do. And then I'll apply for it myself, and then I'll um, use it when I come back.
Nice. Okay. Ty is asking, are there any residency options in Vietnam or neighboring countries worth considering?
Anyway, so no, there's no residency in Vietnam. It's just we have the tourist visa. And
Okay.
in order to we don't have access to the long-term visa unless you marry a Vietnamese, invest in business or education, have Vietnamese lineage. So those are your options for long term. So, and what was the other part of the question?
Are there any neighboring countries worth considering I guess that may have residency options?
Oh, sure. You have Malaysia, you have Bangkok, you have Cambodia, the Philippines. Well, they're a little bit over, but those Southeast, those those are the regions where you have visa options for long-term residency, where they
Oh,
actually have visas in place.
Britt, hi. I can't remember my phone. Hi, welcome. That's our mutual
Oh,
friend,
Miss
Brittany.
Brittany. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Britt. She's just popping in to say hi. Thank you for watching, girl.
Oh, okay.
Um, so Shawn, it sounds like you are nomadic, right?
I
Because
am.
you stay in Vietnam for your 90 days, sometimes less, sometimes, and then you bop out
Right.
to another country. You stay there
Mhm.
for a little bit, and then you bop to another country, and then you bop to Vietnam. So I love that for you, first of all.
It is.
Secondly, how is it that you plan your travel? Like, is it just kind of laissez-faire? I go where the wind blows, I have that kind of freedom, or is it sort of like very meticulous where you plan for the year? Because I mean, every 90 days you have to be out of the country, right? So are you planning ahead of time?
No, I don't plan ahead of time. I don't plan for the year. That's our other girl, Bougie Nomad.
I know. Oh, you know Vashana too. I told you we have mutuals everywhere. Like,
She has it down to a
yeah.
T. Another one that has it too. No, I don't plan ahead like that.
I
Um,
think the Wi-Fi is failing us. You know what? I jinxed it because I
you sure
said,
did, Jinx.
I hear you,
Is
but I
it?
don't see you.
Can you hear me now? You
I
did
hear you.
jinx it.
I just don't see you. I said before we started the live, I was like, wow, I'm
I
so amazed that they have such good
I see
Wi-Fi
you.
in Vietnam. Apparently not. I can
I
hear
see you
you.
though. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you. But it's okay. Maybe it'll
You
correct
can't see.
itself.
I can see you. Is that me or you? Who's who needs to come out and come back in?
I can't see you at all. In the comments, guys, can you see me still?
Wow. I might have to come. I can see you and everything just fine. So I don't know. I have to come out. Can you take
Because
me out?
if it was me, I think the live stream would have ended and it's still going.
Well, why can't I see everything? This is crazy. You jinxed it.
I
But do I need to go out and come back in?
Yes. Oh, okay. So Britt says she can see me, but she can't see you. Okay, I'm gonna kick you out for a second and rejoin, okay?
Okay.
Okay. We can't see Shawn, but we can hear her. Yeah, I can hear her. Okay, I'm kicking her out. And then hopefully she rejoins us, y'all. You can see me. Hi, we were having such a nice time, guys. I really love hearing about Vietnam. I want to plan a bop through Asia. Like, going to China really changed I know China is like completely different and not in the same area, but that was my first time being in Asia, period. And I went there and I also had like a long layover in Seoul in South Korea. And I want to talk more about that on the channel. Oh, wait, here she is. Yay!
Listen, you jinxed that. You know what I'm saying?
I know I shouldn't have said anything and then it would have been fine.
That's hilarious. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, I don't remember what I asked you. I think
I
I
think
asked
you
you
were
to
talking about
plan.
my nomad. I'm a nomad,
Yes.
and how do I plan?
Yes.
Okay,
How do you plan your bopping?
I am also open to whatever happens. Happens. You
You know, that ain't nothing but the devil. Okay.
Oh
The
my
Wi-Fi is
goodness.
trying to hold us back from greatness.
Say that again.
I said the Wi-Fi is holding us back from greatness. Maybe we
It's
don't
hold.
need picture. Maybe we have sound. Maybe we don't need visual.
Let me see if I can get on it. Oh, there I am. It's okay now?
No,
This is crazy.
I hear you perfect. Like it's crystal clear, but I don't see an image. Oh, and now I hear myself.
Oh my goodness. Is it my Wi-Fi?
I think so. Is something happening with your camera? Are you connecting it to, is it connected to another device and it's feeding in or no?
No, it's not. It's not.
Khadijah, you're
Okay, can
also
you hear me?
from DC. How many people are from DC? Y'all
Are
are
you
really
what?
out.
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay. Are you gonna go out again or do you want me to?
Let me
I'm not.
see something. Is it saying I'm connected to another one?
Oh, she disappeared. We're having some connectivity issues with Shawn. She is in Vietnam, everybody. Her Wi-Fi really was good for most of this conversation, and then I don't know what happened. I think I jinxed it. But as y'all filter in the room, hi Khadijah. Hey, I didn't know you were from DC. Hi Rob. Is that the Chinese flag? Rob, you in China? What? The people they leave, they don't tell me what's going on. Okay, now we have Shawn again.
All right, now you sound okay. But no, it's not connected to anything.
Are you on your phone?
Yes.
Okay, I see you now.
Yeah. And it's clear now.
Okay.
All right.
Fingers crossed. I don't know.
Fingers crossed. I haven't had this problem before. But yeah, so I just plan based on how I feel and based on places that, again, call me or I'm curious about, and I'll say, but it requires research because maybe, for example, I've done Southeast Asia, now I'm focused on East Asia. So that takes a little bit more planning because East Asia is more expensive than Southeast Asia. So I try to say, okay, when's a good time to go? When, if I catch a deal, I'm just going. So those types. So when I leave here, I just have, I might typically, because it's 3 months, so typically I'll go back to Kuala Lumpur to do some business, handle that, whether it's doctor's appointments, things of that nature. And then from there, I'll travel on to my vacation spots if I have any
Mm,
vacations. And sometimes I'll just stay there the 3 months, and sometimes I'll travel other places that I want to travel. And then I'll come back. Maybe I'll come back to Vietnam and explore some different parts of Vietnam. So it just depends on. I don't plan it out too far in advance. I may think about where do I want to go next, but I don't typically plan it far in advance because I just want to be free and things change so much for me.
mm. Okay, I love that. Because I also have that nomadic spirit. So I love that you're embracing it. And your picture disappeared again. Okay, maybe we don't need a picture. Maybe we don't need a visual. Hello? Are you still there or no? I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. Can you guys still see me? Honestly, this is just what happens during lives, right? Like technical difficulties. I'm not somebody who understands how computers and Wi-Fi and stuff works, so I don't know how to fix it. I'm also using StreamYard, which before I never did.
Let's try this. StreamYard, I also have a StreamYard account, so that may have been coming up too.
Oh, like maybe it was connecting to your StreamYard account?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that was it. So let's see how this works.
Okay, fingers crossed. Okay. All right. Let's try this again. So we covered a lot. But I think we haven't really gotten into the nitty gritty of Vietnam. So if someone was looking to stay in Vietnam for, let's say, hypothetically, the 3 months, how would they best find affordable housing, like places to stay? What neighborhoods should they be looking into?
I would say, everybody, we use Facebook groups, and you can see the inventory. So there's a variety: apartments in Da Nang, apartments in, depending on what city you want to go to, in Saigon. So they basically all have the same uh, title Facebook groups. So you look in the Facebook group, see the inventory, and just reach out. You can reach out to realtors that way if it's a place you see. I would recommend that you come. I don't think you should put any money down without seeing a place. I think you come here, most people come, they stay in a hotel for a few days or a week, and then they go actually looking for places. And sometimes you can walk the neighborhood, go into, here they have service, and go into buildings, apartment buildings, and they'll show you if it's ready. Oh, they'll show you. They have no problem with showing you um, what an apartment, what a room looks like. So you can do that anytime, anytime you're walking down the street. And so that's where you start. You can go into some of your expat groups and add Facebook groups and ask them for recommendations for a realtor. And what they do is they connect through Zillow. That's the app that they use to show their listings and connect with their potential renters. WhatsApp. And so it's easy to connect and to find places. You just got to go view them. And they'll do it the same day. If you want to view something, Vietnam is very open and very quick. They're trying to close the deal. Hey, get you in. They'll take you to the ATM. Like the guy took me to I was like, I'm not running. I was stalling. I was like, I don't have deposit money. He was like, I'll take you to the ATM, which he did. Took me to the ATM, got my deposit, put it down that day. So I was able to find a place within a day, within the same day. So it just depends. But sometimes it may take you longer, and that's why you just rent you either the hotels, they're very reasonably priced, or you find a spot to hang out at and just go looking.
Mm.
That's my recommendation, and that's what most people do here. But don't put money down without seeing a place first. Not here, because you got to go check out the neighborhood. Is it noisy? Is it construction around? Is it trashy? Is it mold? Mold is a big issue in Vietnam. So is it water stains? So those things you have to go inside and examine for yourself.
Mm.
But it's not difficult to find a place.
And the DC girls in the chat are having a little, I don't know, they want to know, do you miss DC mumbo sauce?
Somebody just asked me about mumbo sauce because ladies, I just found Old Bay seasoning. I happened to be in the store and I was like, what is that? I found Old Bay seasoning. Somebody said, all you need is some mumbo sauce. So I don't miss the mumbo sauce, but it would be nice to get a little taste.
When was the last time you've been back to America?
uh, Over 2 years ago. I haven't been back in
Oh,
2 years. Yeah.
oh.
I was like, I hope they let me back in whenever I have to come.
Child. The way I kept getting stopped coming back into the country, I was like,
Oh, wow.
when I came back from China, I have, and even like most recently, I went to Colombia last month, and I got pulled for like secondary screenings twice. I'm like, I have global entry and clear. Leave me alone. I paid for these services to be
Oh,
left alone,
wow.
and I still got pulled. But 2 years is crazy.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, "Now, where you been?"
But you don't get a little homesick,
No, I
or
can
do you
just
miss anything from being in the US?
no, just the convenience of certain things that you need right away. If it's, your bank card, things like that. But pretty much no. I call my friends, we connect via Zoom. I call my family, we connect, and that's how I'm rolling.
we are not living in reality right now.
Do you want me to move to my computer? I have no idea what's going on because this has never happened.
Try moving to your computer and we'll see what happens.
Okay, we'll see what happens. I'll move to the
Okay,
computer.
BRB. All right, so y'all are gonna be stuck with me for a second. Sorry. Vietnam does not need a cheesecake factory. I think Key Love, since you are Keyoka Senior, you're gonna have to explain to me what you mean by it. Like, what's up with this cheesecake obsession? I do like a good cheesecake. I'm not gonna hold you, but the food at Cheesecake Factory, the food is not worth it. Let me tell y'all a little something, okay? Copeland's in New Orleans, the best cheesecake hands down. Now they didn't had new management, okay? And the food tastes a little different, but that cheesecake, go to Copeland's in New Orleans. I need to give y'all a list of places to eat. Like if you want real food and you still in Louisiana, you need to go to my city, okay, and eat. You probably don't even know what food tastes like because you never been to New Orleans. I could also be delusional. This person, does the bank give you? I don't know. I don't know. Khadijah says, I thought I was the only one who felt that way about Cheesecake Factory. I only like the cheesecake, the food. No. First of all, the menu for the Cheesecake Factory is entirely too long. Why is your menu like 10 pages? Make it make sense. The food has gone down. The food has never been up. Okay? The food has never been up. Now the cheesecakes. What's your favorite cheesecake at Cheesecake Factory? I like the birthday cake one. I also like the dulce de leche. We might have to strawberry. Khadijah, you going to the Cheesecake Factory to eat strawberry cheesecake, friend? Are you one of those people that go to restaurants and order chicken nuggets? I'm judging. Okay, Shawn is back. We back.
Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Thank you all for sticking around. This has never happened, I'm telling you.
I'm just kidding. Eat what you want. I'm kidding. It's okay. No worries. Okay, so we do have some questions. I think. I thought I saw some. Okay. It sounds like Rob needs to get your pick my brain session because she's asking what are some areas to consider in Da Nang. I like biking, city hiking, and nice walks.
What are some areas? Because it's a pretty, it's not a big area. So you just have districts. So you have to pick a district for that. So city hiking, nice walks.
Maybe.
Vietnam. Are you in Da Nang? City walking?
I immediately thought like Portugal with this question because it's like uphill, like city hiking.
You're gonna have to go to the mountains, like Santra. You're gonna have to go up in the mountains for that. People bike up in the mountains, like going towards that way, because the city is not made for walking. You know, with the infrastructure, the construction, you do have certain parts like the river walk, and some of the neighborhoods may have wider sidewalks, but pretty much you get the motorbikes and the restaurants controlling the sidewalks in the majority of places around Vietnam.
Really? So Da Nang, or is this true of Da Nang, or is it most cities in Vietnam aren't very walkable?
No, Da Nang, because Saigon is very different. Saigon has wider sidewalks. They have green space. They have parks. and places for you to bike. But in Da Nang, and so I see a lot of people biking up toward the mountain because that they have, and that's a little lane as you're going toward the mountain. So um, nice walks. The nicest walk you can do in the city is just a river walk. It's not very green. It's not a very green place, and that's one of the drawbacks for me because I like green space.
Okay.
And I like
Rob, so
running and walkability, and there's really no place here to do that.
okay. It
People
sounds like
do it,
right on Rob's
but a
list.
little bit
But
dangerous.
so asking for a friend, if you have dogs,
Hmm.
where would you recommend someone with pets go? Because it doesn't sound like Da Nang is very pet friendly.
No, it's very pet friendly, but you don't have a lot of green space for your pets. So you walk them along. You might find a little patch. You might find a little park someplace, a little patch, concrete, but it's not a lot of green space here for
Mm,
dogs. But it's dog friendly. It's
okay.
pet friendly. People like dogs and people have pets here. But in terms of parks for the dogs, it's not a lot of parks for the dogs. It's not a lot of patches. And my friends, they just walk their dog along the river.
Okay. Okay. So
Mhm.
people find a way.
They
Um,
find a way.
so Khadija says she saw your medical checkup in Malaysia on your channel, but what is
Yes.
the healthcare like in Vietnam? Is it very accessible? Have you had an experience going to a Vietnamese hospital?
No, because fortunately I haven't. And I had started all my medical work in Malaysia. So I stick with my doctors in Kuala Lumpur, which are excellent. But on the flip side, I feel comfortable and know friends who have been to doctors here in Vietnam. It's accessible, it's affordable. I go to the dentist here. I pretty much get teeth cleanings. That's all I need, but it's affordable. It's You still get quality service. I know people who a friend of mine, he's had surgery here. And here's a funny story about that is that he had surgery here. He paid for a private room, right? But their private rooms in this particular hospital had a baby on the other side. He was like, "What kind of private room is this? I gotta hear a screaming baby." So that situation was different. They was like, "Well, that's the only private rooms we have." But I know other people who've had their well women exams here, and it's been fine. Fortunately, I haven't had to use it, emergency or their doctors, but I feel comfortable if I have to.
Hmm. So this checkup that you had in Malaysia, was it that what do they call it? There do you know what I'm talking about? Where people go and they get like a full body, was that what that was?
The video that she saw, yes, it was a comprehensive exam. I mean, they do, you got the state of the art medical center. I went to Prince Court Medical Center, and everything is rearranged, professional. It's a new medical center in terms of the facilities and the technology, and they do everything from the time you check in. You get, I've got a mammogram, I didn't even know sonograms. I was getting sonograms, sonograms, your whole blood panel. Then the doctor talks to you about the blood panel in depth. You get your eye exam. You get everything. You get, I try to say the mammogram. You get the screen, everything, and it came out to about with 10% Mastercard. With a Mastercard, you get 10% off. But mine came out to about $490 or something like that, $490. That was a comprehensive. And so at the end, they give you a booklet with all your exams and your tests in this booklet that you can save and take, and have for reference. So now I don't need to do that. I go to my other doctors, just for it. I did that when I first went to Malaysia because I needed
Mhm.
it was time for my whole full body exam, well, everything. And so now I just go for checkups to my regular doctor. And let me tell you, because a friend got me into, she's friends with the 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 physician that runs this particular medical center, this, who's over it. And she said, "Oh, he said he'll see you." I was like, "Wow, okay." Now, this renowned cardiologist took his time with me. His assistant came out, hugged me like we've been knowing each other forever. We had been coordinating my visit, and it was just pleasant. He took his time with me, talked,
Mm.
and he said, we'll do a blood panel. Do you know what your blood work was before?" I said, "Nope, but I got the results from last year." So when I came in to get the blood panel, I gave him the results, the booklet that Prince Court had given me. And he was like, "Wow," he could read and compare from this year to next year. And
Mm.
he was like, "Oh, you're in good shape. You even did better with your numbers." And so what happened? It's time to, and he said, "If you ever need anything, um, don't worry about your visa because we can extend your visa for medical care. If you're under medical care, they can extend your visa." So I didn't know that initially. So he was like, "Yeah, so don't ever worry if you need to stay longer and you have some medical issues." So I went out to pay the bill. And you know how you don't want to be shocked because you don't want them to charge you any more, but you just want to make sure you charge properly. And
Mm-hmm.
I was, "Does this include the blood panel?" And she was like, "Oh," I said, "Does it include the doctor?" Girl, it was $38.
What? Never in my life have I gone to see a doctor and I've gotten a bill. I went to see the doctor yesterday and I got a bill for a couple hundred with insurance. Never in
38.
my life has it ever been $38. That's insane.
And he runs the center, medical center. He's a renowned
Insane.
cardiologist, and I'm like, $38. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I do all my follow-ups in Malaysia.
Right.
But that's
$38 is okay alone.
Yeah, but the checkup is really good because they go in depth and they check, and you get all your um, answers to your questions and just your results there for certain tests. You get it right then at the end of your visit. So I highly recommend it.
Okay. Um, I feel like that would be worth it even. I mean, I know a lot of people do medical tourism, but for
Hmm.
me, just to get a full body exam, like, listen, what's wrong with me? And paying $400, it would be
Yeah,
worth it.
right. And it's cheaper than Thailand. Thailand's known for their medical tourism, but their exams are a little bit more expensive than Malaysia.
Mm, interesting. Listen, don't give all the people the secrets because, in a couple years, it's gonna be overrun over there. Like when people find out about this.
Well, yeah, and so that's the issue that's happening in Da Nang is because
Uh,
people are like, "Don't tell them," like they just come in here because it's cheap and messing up for the locals and just well, the vibe has changed. The vibe has changed because more people, it'll be a different vibe. But while
mm.
it was still, you had your people here. It was still a bit cozier. Now it's just people, people running through.
They just said, yes, I'll be heading to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia before the prices go up. Listen,
Yeah,
book your
yes.
tickets. Okay. Book your tickets.
Right, right. You'll have everybody I know has had a great experience with that medical facility,
Mm.
their
So
experience.
we
So
so
mhm,
we have a lot of mutual people that we know in common. So,
we
but
do.
I'm going to ask this question just for the sake of asking this question. How are you building community in Southeast Asia?
I feel community. It's interesting because people know me through my social media platform. In Malaysia, locals know me through my platform. Here in Vietnam, people know me through my platform. So they reach out to me. That's one way. And that's one way in terms of meeting locals that I've been able to meet and friend local people because they have been gracious and as a host and showing me around the city. So I built relationships that way. And
Mm,
just being out in the community, you may volunteer, you may attend events, I might be in the store. So I tend to be very open and approachable. And so people feel comfortable talking with me. And I just establish conversations, and that's how I build and just slowly. And I met some wonderful people, and particularly some locals. I met some very nice locals who have been turned into friends who I can trust and who looks out for me. Look out for me. If
mm.
I need anything, have any questions, just like I needed to go to a doctor, I was able to call my local friend in Malaysia and say, "Hey, I had an eye emergency. I didn't know what was going on." And you're frazzled. You're like, "Oh my God, where can I go?" And I called her, and she was like, "Hey, go here." Boom. Wow, this is across the street from me. Okay. So, so it's nice to have that local, you know, um, some local friends that
Okay,
know the system. Hmm.
okay, that's
So,
fair.
yeah, that's yeah, yeah. And then
Have you
organically meet people.
so
I
so
organically.
organically, like what, like is it like if you see another expat, or is it like, well, I don't know. I guess the question is really, what do you do when you're in Vietnam? Like, what does a typical day look like for you?
And I don't really hang around expats. I prefer the local. I
You
don't
too
really hang around.
cool. You too
Yeah,
cool for the
I'm so
expat.
cool. I'm so cool. I'm so cool for the expat. I'm so cool. Look, I don't want to be around the foreigners. Period.
I get it.
No,
No, I,
you know what I'm saying? That's why I organically can meet people because in Thailand, for example, in Chiang Mai, I was at the mall and I just happened to be standing there and I met a beautiful sister who's living there, from the States, and we connected. Just that's what I mean, organic. I'm not out to seek or to find anybody. I'm just
mm,
going about my day and just connect with people. But a typical day for me, I'm the coffee shop queen. Vietnam have so many cute and cozy coffee shops, but I make sure I'm not really at the expat coffee shops. I like the local vibes. Find my little nook, and then just hang out. Coffee shop queen. I take a little walk, walking in the streets, just seeing this. Every day is something new here. So get your exercise. Sometimes when I have my trainer, I would go to the gym. So it just depends. But pretty much what I would be doing in the States. Just living my life, strolling, running errands. That's what I do all the time. I run some errands. I go to the grocery store every single day. That hasn't changed. That's my DC life. That I just do it because I love the grocery store. So I'll just go in there and go every day.
what
So
is your favorite Vietnamese food?
my favorite food is bum. Oh, first my favorite is cum tam. Cum tam is
Um,
the pork chop, and that's about the closest things I can get to the States. It's pork chop, but it's broken rice, and then they have pickled cucumbers, and then an egg, and then this pate. And so I love the way they season, particularly the pork chop. And then
mm,
I like, oh, and then bum bum whey would be my favorite noodle dish. So that's a combination of pork, beef. It does have blood curd in it, but it's vermicelli noodles, and but the sauce and the broth is good. So, and it comes from whey, that's what I'm bum bum whey. But yeah, those are my favorites. Other than that, I'm
it's a
worn out
lot of
on Asian food. Yeah, they love meat, love meat. So you can get your meat on here, but I'm just more. They do pork really well, and I eat pork, so I'm gonna stick with the pork. I've never been sick from the pork.
okay. Have you gotten sick eating like street food, or is there anything that people should look out for when they're finding food?
Well, I watch myself. I don't eat the street food unless you know for sure. You can see the hygienic practices because they're not the best sanitized place. You could just, it's not a, 5 stars for sanitation. and preparation. So you look at different places, but the places I end up getting food poisoning are reputable places I've eaten at over time. Yeah. And
Oh,
so I'm like, I've been here before, so I guess I got a bad batch of meat. So I've had to deal with food poisoning just recently, actually, but about in Vietnam, maybe about 3 times
okay. In I
from
mean, in
reputable places, not from street vendors.
wow. So you really can't. There's really no way to protect yourself from food poisoning.
Ye- Well, no, but I don't eat when I see that man cutting the meat on the ground. I'm not eating from there, you know.
Okay.
So,
Well, I hope not.
and then and then you look at how they prepare the food. Do they use gloves? Do they exchange money with the gloves? So little stuff like that. So I tend to stay away from the street food because I know my stomach is very sensitive. But also, the food poisoning came from restaurants that I eat at. So I'm like, go figure.
Mm, okay. Have you ever felt unsafe in Vietnam?
No, not in terms of watching my back as somebody trying to attack me or guns or anything like that. No, the only thing you have to watch for is the traffic. If you're walking, because you're walking in the streets, it's particularly at night. So the
Hmm.
traffic, you have to just be mindful of how far, of the traffic because they move fast. They're moving fast. You got cars and motorbikes coming at you at the speed of lightning. And so you just got to be careful. But safety, otherwise, no, I can walk down the alley and feel very comfortable because people live in the alleys, along the alleys here. So an alley is not the same as in the US. I will not walk down the alley. No, you will not catch me walking down the alley. But here, I walk down alleys all the time. I can go
Mm.
out at night if I have to. I don't feel uncomfortable or anything. So I do not feel unsafe here.
How do you feel like you've been treated as a Black woman there?
Oh goodness, I talk about this all the time. I talk about that's what keeps me. That's why I keep coming back. That's why I stay here. Is because of the way I've been treated and welcome and such a warm feeling of respect and acceptance even if I, don't speak the language or know what's going on, we can relate through gestures, through smiles, through waves and send out. They break down, and just the people have been very warm, and it's unfortunate when other people don't have the same experience because I want them to experience the love and the beauty that I've experienced. But not everybody, every situation is different. But I that's why I keep coming back. It's the people. I'm telling you, it's the people because I don't want it to be any place where I feel uncomfortable, disrespected. I got to fight. I got to watch my back. Negativity. These and nobody paying me no attention. They minded their business. I can walk down the street. Hey, wave. They may wave. They may not. I'm just waving. So it doesn't matter to me whether you wave or not. If you do, cool. But if I pass somebody all the time, I'm gonna speak. Hey, how you doing? Keep going, send you out. And they 9 times out of 10 they speak, or nod or wave. But it's just, you know, I get, I'm positive, and I think positivity begets positivity. So I haven't had anything negative. Now people are rude, because you have different people here. Some people can be rude, and whether it's foreigners, whether it's locals, but I don't experience that a lot in terms of the locals. It's usually with the foreigners.
Hmm.
Locals, they mind their business. They don't bother you.
Have you had to adjust to anything culturally, like anything that shocked you?
Well, here, it's a lot of culture shocks here, but I think the one culture shock is interesting because this is the most chaotic, noisy, loud, peaceful place. Vietnam is loud, it's
Kind of like
chaotic,
an
it's
oxymoron.
noisy. It is. It's an oxymoron, but it's peaceful. I love
Uh,
it. The way outside noise doesn't bother me because people used to say I lived in DC proper, up the street from the White House, a fire station, a police station. And people will say, girl, this noise, how do you deal with this noise? It doesn't, I don't even notice the noise. Only time I would notice the noise, outside noise, is when I'm filming, recording. And then I'm like,
Mm,
this is what people are talking about. A helicopter. This is, the sirens. And, okay, I get it now. But
right.
outside noise is life. So children playing, the karaoke, as loud as it, terrible as it sounds, all right, I can deal with it because it stops at a certain time. The roosters, oh God, but a little nerve wracking, but you could deal with it. So it that is most shocking that it's so chaotic, so noisy, yet so peaceful. So that
Mm,
I walk down the street thinking, I can't believe I'm in Vietnam. And I think the other shock is I really don't have to deal with negativity here. I don't have to deal. There is no reason when you said expat. There's no reason for me to deal with a Karen. There's no reason for me to even. I don't have to do commerce with you. You don't have to. I don't have to do my. I don't have to buy anything from you. I don't have to talk to you if I don't want to. There's nothing you should be saying to me other than if you speak. I don't have to do anything. You're not a daily part of my life because you're not the majority here. And so that feels really good, not to have to deal um, with those type of situations or what can happen.
mm.
Sometimes you can feel people's attitude. I don't have to deal with that. You know, you don't belong here. This is not your country. So day to day, I don't have to deal with those, and so that's another part of that feeling good. Because I don't have to interact with other people if I don't want to.
That sounds like paradise to me. Not having to interact with other people.
Right, right. And so
Them
that's what
people.
I said. Ask yourself how you want your life to feel. What does success look and feel like for you? Success and how I want my life to feel is peaceful. I don't have to deal with pervasive negativity. People are respectful. You don't have to like me, but don't bother me. You don't have to be disrespectful and just live in the same society and move on with life. And I
Mm,
like that. I like that I can just walk out my door, hop, skip, and jump, and sing my song, hey, and wave, and just feel peaceful at it. You know.
mm. The Flying Virgo says, love this whole conversation. Thanks for sharing. Y'all, as you filter in the room, drop down in the comments if you have any questions for Shawn. Please put a Q in front of your question. Also, like the video. I see how many people are in this room. Like the video. Okay, this is a small way to show YouTube that you care about the content that I'm creating, that you love me. Okay, I do get my validation from likes. So, like the video.
Thank you so much for staying. I appreciate you all for staying through the technical difficulties.
Okay, we're nice over here. We're family. They're gonna stay. Um,
Yeah.
so Shawn, have you dated?
Child, what? What did you say? What? What's
Is
that?
it is the internet breaking up again? Over here?
Yeah, right. Disconnect. There's a problem. Look, this
You
is
know, the
where
path to
all
residency in Vietnam,
say that
if you
again.
marry
Wait a
a
minute.
Vietnamese person.
Right,
I'm just
right.
doing
So I
I'm
gotta find me a bae. I gotta find me a Vietnamese bae. I just did a video talking about I need to find me a bae, a Vietnamese bae where we can sit at the little cafe, coffee shop, and just sit, and he can help me up, pull me up out that little stool, and just live our lives in peace. And that's what I need to do. But dating, this is where all the years of dating come into play. You like, girl, I did enough dating in my whole lifetime not to ever date again.
you tired already?
No, I'm joking. No, what I'm saying is, I don't date in Vietnam, particularly Vietnam. I don't date, but other
Okay.
places I date. Yeah.
Like
But I said,
where?
I was like, But I would say Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, yeah, because
Why
it's a little
Malaysia?
bit, it's a little more diverse. It's diversity because you got different people from all over there, different countries actually, not
Okay.
just Malay, Malaysian, Chinese Malay, and Indian Malay. That's their population in terms of the. But you have people from all over who migrate to to Malaysia, so it's not just you know it's brown people from all over. Not that I mean just people from all over. So you see more brown people in Malaysia than you see white people.
I
So
mean, Malaysians are also kind of brown to me.
yeah, right. So they come in all different shades, but I'm just saying, you see the diversity of where here it's not really any diversity. And nor did I come here looking for, to date an
Not
American or
looking,
anything
but
like that.
sometimes you want to promenade. Sometimes you want to. I'm just
Yeah,
asking the
and
questions that people want to know.
oh yeah, and you could do that. It's just, I haven't done it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are looking to date in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, the recommendation is go to Malaysia.
Everybody's different. They find them a boo where they find them, or they find them some action where they find it. You can find some action. It just may not be, it
But
just
is
might
that
not
your
my
impression?
action.
But is that your impression, right? Because I feel like, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I have an opinion about certain places based off of what I've seen traveling, right?
Hmm.
And I feel like in certain places there are a lot of expats, and when there are a lot of expats, there are a lot of just debauchery. Like
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
there's just a lot of, stuff happening. So I wouldn't, if I was like dating seriously, I don't know that I would go to places like Thailand. I don't know that I would go to places like Bali for like if I was looking for a serious
Oh,
partner.
if you look,
You know what I mean? So I don't
yeah.
know about Malaysia. I don't know about Vietnam. These are just
But see, I have a different perspective. I don't go there for that purpose of dating, And if you go, I'm going because I'm interested and I want to be there. And
fair.
I can check out this. I can check out the scene and see what it is, and what's happening. But I'm in the category. I don't do the dating apps. I don't do all of that. I'm more of an organic person. If I meet you, I meet you. If not, cool. But at the same time, you may enjoy companionship, or you may hang out with friends, or you may date different people. But as far as relationship wise, it may be harder here, depending on because of the population and depending on what you can connect with and what you like, or your preferences. So it may be a little more challenging here. So here you bring sand to the beach. I would say it's okay to bring sand to the beach.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't go to places looking to date. For that's not at the top of my list. If
Fair.
they have now, for example, Brazil. Okay, Brazil.
So
Yeah.
you go to
Oh,
Brazil
I'm
because
dating it. I'm dating in Brazil. I'm dating.
she said, "Oh, I'm dating Brazil."
I'm dating it. I'm
So
having a lot of
apparently
fun in Brazil.
Brazil has the men's. If you want to go there.
People talk about the women, but the men are flying too.
Oh, oh, let me find out.
Yeah.
Khadijah's asking, do you see a lot of interracial relationships in Vietnam?
I see a lot with, of course, the men with Asian women. So I see a lot of that, but otherwise, no, I don't really. So that's the dynamic I see. I see men more so with it, or Asian women with, you know, with men, white men, black men. I see that, but I don't see a lot of interracial dating. And then I'm in a different category too. This is just observation. I'm not on the party scene. That's
Mm.
not me. So I'm
Well,
not at the hostels. I'm not at the clubs. So
I'm gonna give the people some advice. Okay, if you know that you want to live in Vietnam, okay, and you are looking for a Vietnamese partner, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. A lot of people might know this, might not know this. Okay. In New Orleans, we have a very large Vietnamese population. You head down to the West Bank. Okay, look it up. Huge Vietnamese community. And they like black women over there. They like black people. The Vietnamese people have been fully infiltrated the black community down there in New Orleans. Okay, I grew up eating Vietnamese food, going down there to the West Bank to get the king cake from the Vietnamese people. You want yourself a Vietnamese man that like a little black woman? Okay, they got him in New Orleans. Listen, nab him up, marry him. Y'all head down to the Vietnam. You get yourself a residency. All right, that's the
Get yourself.
unofficial plan. Okay, if that's what you're looking for, take that
Right.
with a grain of salt. If you want to do that, you could go ahead and do that. If that's your goal in life, okay. But anyway, let's get off of men.
But and you
Whoa.
might have better luck, you know, in places like Saigon. It's so funny though. But I look, I said it was funny, this guy, and here I am being suspicious. Like, what are you want for? I'm the only one over here. Why are you talking to me? What are you talking about? You trying to rip me off. You know, so I'm like, Lord, have I been off the scene too long, or I'm just too on alert? But started talking to me. We're a nice looking guy and everything. Started talking to me and everything. And I'm like, why are you coming up? For one, I'm over here eating by myself. Leave me alone.
Right. You better
Wow.
speak to that man.
You know, because he was eating breakfast too, and he was like, "Do you mind if I join you?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." But I was like, "What are you talking to me for? I'm gonna try to eat my food." And then I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I say, "Girl, you missing out, huh? You got to tone it down a little bit. Like, what you over here? What you want?" I was nice and all, but I'm like, "You trying to scam me?"
Child, the people say that everybody wants this good old American citizenship, and they're looking for
Right.
every time. When I was traveling, yes, when I was traveling, my friends were like, "You better watch who you're dating because they're out there looking for Americans to get this American citizen." And I'm like, "Do y'all not realize that nobody trying to go to America? Like, what's not clicking? Nobody's trying to get to the US." Okay. I'm trying to, if anything, they should be on the lookout for me. I'm trying to get out.
You're trying to get out, right? Right. So that's why I was like, I can get my little 5-year residency.
Exactly.
Residency. Let's see what. So I'm a little bit open now. Like, hey. Oh my
But
goodness.
I'm only asking that question because specifically one of my subscribers, Angela, she is not here tonight, but she always asks the dating question on my lives. I always like to cover all my bases. Okay.
Well, I wish I had more to share with Angela about dating Vietnam, but it's a wrap.
Right, hang it up.
Yeah, hang it up. I'll let you know if that happens. I'll really do a video on that because everybody wants to know. So, but it's so funny because the men who date here, and they could be Vietnamese from America called VQs. They're like, oh no, we're gonna the women in Thailand. You have to. I'm not Thailand in Vietnam. They're a little more subdued. They're not like the women in Thailand. They're a little more, just subdued, unless they there, for their purpose, like moving around and stuff. So they got to take more time with the women here. The men, they have to take more time. So when they date, they bring their friends initially. They don't go one-on-one. They bring their friends, and then they get comfortable with you, and then that's how they. That's how the process here. But men have no problem dating here, because they get involved, with the families and because they go through that process. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I don't know how it would be for a woman and a man and his family. That'd be interesting. We know men are men. No matter where you go, men are men. But dating, I don't know how it is to date a local.
So you've obviously been living this lifestyle for 2 years. Do you
Mhm.
ever see yourself getting a full-time residency anywhere? And if so, where would that be?
You know, I'm still, pardon me, I'm still exploring places. I think 2 years is fairly new, given your whole life in one place. Uh,
Yeah.
so, so I'm open to exploring other places. I got, like I say, Asia poor. I wasn't supposed to be here to my understand. I wasn't supposed to be here as long as I am. I have been. It just kind of pulled me, keeps pulling me in, pulling me back, pulling me
Mm.
back. So there's still other places in the world to explore. I still have to explore more, just other, whether it's, I haven't been, I did some of Europe, but it's still some other places I want to check out, some other parts of France. Do I still want to settle in France? In a different part of France, because that was the whole plan. I was like, I studied, I invested in the language, and I can't use it now. I don't want to lose it. So that's still deep in my heart as well. And then I want just to check out some other places. But I realized too, I'm so far. I'm so far away. I can't just hop a plane and do a day trip someplace.
Mm.
I'm in Southeast Asia, but I can't hop a day trip to Turkey. That's still like 4 hours. I mean, 14 hours. you know. So I'm trying to figure that out. When I was going to this summer, and I go by signs. I was, oh, this would put me closer. I don't want to go back to the States, but if I have to, that'll put me closer if I go from here and go to Madrid. Because they had a ticket. They had a really good ticket to go to Madrid for about $400, and so like $430. But when I was going to buy it, the blackout happened, and I was like, "Oh, that's a sign. That's a sign." So I won't do that. I'll do something else. So I think I went to Hong Kong. Then I said, well, I in Istanbul because I've never been there, and that's a place I wanted to go.
Wait, where?
And
Where?
that
You clicked out a
Turkey,
little bit. Turkey. Okay.
it's yeah, Istanbul, Turkey. And so I wanted to go there, and then maybe from there I can travel to some parts of Europe and then come back. Uh, and so what happened? The war. So I was like, okay, that must be a sign. I'm gonna go to Japan. So
Mm.
I
Mm.
go off these little signs of things happening. So it must not have been the right time for me to go. Okay, well, I'll just go to Japan. And because I had, what I did was I did go back. I bopped around for about 7 months. Had to go back to Costa Rica, right? So in order to get to Costa Rica, I had to fly through Houston. So I spent a couple of days with my cousin in Houston. I went to Costa Rica. So I had to come back out of Costa Rica. So I spent a week in Houston with a really good friend of mine. Spent a week there. And then I said, I'm too close to DC. I need to get my hair done. I cannot be this close and not get my hair done. So I flew, this was in 2020, 2023. I flew to DC. First time back in DC in about 7 months. And I was like, oh, it's so hard here. Why you got an attitude? You could just feel it. I was like, did I do this? Was I like this? I
Mm.
think I'm the same person, very open, approachable, but you still got that city girl in you where you may be, got a factor, alert factor quick. And so I was like, why, lady, what? I'm being nice, and I got to get out of here. For one, it's too
Mm.
expensive. That's when you really see the cost of living coming from Southeast Asia. I'm like, what? I'm paying $150 a night. I got to get out of here.
Okay, you
So
can't compare the two. Okay, if you
I
try to
can,
compare the two, you're gonna hurt your feelings.
you're gonna hurt your feelings, and that's the sad thing. Now I have gotten into. I was like, you're gonna have to bite the bullet because nobody is gonna be as affordable as Vietnam. So bite the bullet. Don't get that. If you find a deal, head to Hong Kong. You find a deal, head to Japan because you just have to get your mind together. So when I left DC, I only stayed 3 days, got my hair done, and then I was out. And I said, I got to make my way back to Malaysia. That's
Mm.
what the goal was, to make my way back to Kuala Lumpur, settle down, work on my content and get that flowing. And so, but I had that again, this whole long process. So I ended up going to Paris. I stayed there 2 weeks. I was like, this Euro is kicking my butt. I got to go. So I hopped on the computer that night. Where am I going? Okay, Budapest. I've been to Budapest before. I love Budapest. And I wanted to go back after the war because I thought I was going to move to Budapest. I was like, oh, if you check, I got so many videos on Budapest. Because I just thought, oh, I'm going to move to Budapest. Then I grew up. I got older, more seasoned. I'm like, it's cold. I ain't moving to
Right.
no Budapest. And so I went just to see if it changed or anything. I stayed there a week or so. And then I said, when I'm on that side of town, the next place I'm going to go is Bucharest. Oh my God, fell in love.
Fell in
Fell
love.
in love with Bucharest, Romania. That is
Yeah.
like my spot. I would go back there. They get cold though. They get cold.
So sidebar, I didn't go to Bucharest, but when I was traveling from London to Paris with my dogs, I had to hire a driver. So like to bring dogs across, to take the train to bring dogs from London to Paris, you have to hire like a
Oh,
car to transport them.
uh-huh.
My driver was from Bucharest, and he was
Oh,
like, first of all, I think he was trying to hit on me, but he was like,
probably.
the men
Yeah.
in Bucharest
You
are
could date in
delicious.
Bucharest. You could date.
You can
I
probably date in
could.
Bucharest. And he was talking about
I
the
could date in
food.
Bucharest.
He was like, the city is gorgeous and the people are nice, and like he was giving me the whole list. Mind you, this was like an hour ride. The whole time
Yeah.
he's like, you have to go.
Yeah.
I ended up not going. I ended up going to Albania, but it's on my list. Needless to say,
It,
it's on my list because he sold it
it
to me
is.
in the time it took
Oh,
to get from London to Paris.
oh, yeah. And I can vouch for that in terms of my experience with Bucharest. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. The people, they have that harsh exterior. What do you want? Can I help
Crazy.
you? But they're really nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, you have the men there that were open. They talk to you. So you get a little date. You can date in Bucharest, and I
Well, you
think
can find some
Europe.
good food too. You can find some good food too. Like he was telling
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
like
they're very
he was like,
meaty.
"Oh, here, ask for my grandma." I'm like, "Why would I do that?" He's like, "My
Yeah,
family lives here. You can tell them you know
yeah,
me, and they'll feed you." And I'm like, "Okay." But
yeah,
I like that sense of just community. I love
yeah,
places where people will feed me. Um, and it does look like a beautiful city. So Bucharest is on the
yeah.
list. Yeah.
Yeah, Bucharest is the little Paris of Europe. It's
Mm.
the blueprint is from Paris. So you'll see Parisian street signs. You'll see the design and the architecture is very Parisian. So um, it's a very nice place. So I went there. I loved it, and then I came back to Kuala Lumpur, and then I'm just like, man. And then I come back to Danang. It just keeps pulling me back. I'm like, what the heck? And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be back, but it just keeps pulling me back for whatever reason. I got to get my um, credit card delivered to me, so I got to go back to Danang for that because they know me here, so it's easy to have that delivered. So I'm like, it just keeps pulling back. It keeps pulling back. So
Danang is trying
it's
to be your
something.
number one.
Right, it's fighting hard, and it's easy. So I'm like, what is it? Stop fighting. And somebody said, oh, good to have you back home, even though you don't think it's your home.
Well,
you know, but at least, but like I said, I don't think you have to have one place. You can have many places to call your home. Danang, I could have Malaysia. Aruba. I could have Romania, Bucharest. The places that I love that it feel good to me. Again, that goes back to the feeling. What feels good to me. And so those places feel good. And Albania was one of the places that I was trying to get to when I went to when I was going to Turkey. I would say, oh, okay, man, I can hop on over, make my way to Albania, but it didn't work out because I was like, I just
You
take
should.
that
I,
as a sign.
tell everybody.
It's
I tell
not.
everybody. I
But
tell
it's getting
everybody.
cold. I don't want to be in the cold.
Albania don't really get that cold to me, but I could listen. I could be delusional, okay? Because my friend in I have a friend in London. She travels with her daughter. Oh, everyone follow Ico Travels. What is it? Ico Travels the World. Well, they came to visit me when I was in Albania, and
Hmm.
she, you know those big puffer coats that come down to your ankles.
Yeah.
She was
Uh-huh.
wearing one of those, and I was like, and I told her before she came, I was like, it's not cold over here. It's fine. She had the big coat on, and she was like, "Are you insane? It is freezing. I need to bundle up." And I'm like, I don't feel that way. I don't know what it is. I just get to Albania and I become delusional. Like my
What's
brain,
you
but
know what?
it's in
I'm
the
coming from
south.
warmer
So
climates. So what
I mean,
is the temperature?
it's definitely gonna be colder than Vietnam, but I feel like it doesn't even get as cold as DC, right? Like in comparison, I live in Texas, and in Texas, I think the coldest it might get, like in the winter, is maybe 30 degrees. It doesn't even get, it doesn't even drop down to that low, I don't think, in Albania. Um,
I don't know.
we don't even really get snow.
Oh, it doesn't get snow. That's good.
No, I mean,
But
and maybe in like the northern region, but
is it
definitely like if
springy
you're,
weather?
I'm sorry.
Is it spring like weather? I have no desire to be in cold weather unless I'm just going to a Christmas market or something. Other than
Never
that, I
mind.
don't want no cold weather.
Never mind. Just never mind.
Yeah, I don't have any cold attire. I would have to buy attire. I don't have. I keep my
Fair.
puffer jacket with me. Listen to this. I went to Dalat. Dalat is a really pretty, cozy, mountainous city in Vietnam. Pardon me, in Vietnam. And at nighttime, I had on my little puffer jacket. So I don't trust you. I
Listen, don't trust me. Don't trust me. Don't trust.
trust your friend.
Don't trust. Yes, trust her. She,
Because I was like, it wasn't really cold, but it was chilly. And I still had it so chilly without the puffer jacket. I would have been like, oh,
but I
you know.
also,
So,
I think what it is I think I run hot, like my, especially when I'm walking a lot, and so like my body temperature, I can't wear a lot of, even when it's cold
oh,
or it's like snowing. I'm always like when I was in Germany in November and December. It was freezing, but I
yeah.
couldn't. I end up just taking things off because my body gets hot.
Mm-mm, girl, I tell you, my last experience in DC, I would catch the bus to go downtown. I love the bus, so I would catch the bus. I had to wait on the bus outside. I said, Lord, get me out of here. I can't take this no more. I cannot. It was freezing. I was like, I cannot take this anymore. Lord, please get me out of here.
It was that
So
bad.
it was that bad. I'm like, and my grandmother was like, "Oh, you from St. Louis? You need to toughen up." I'm like, I'm old. I ain't no spring chicken. You know what I'm saying? It's cold. So I was like, I can't take this cold
Oof.
weather no more. I can't take it. So no, I don't want to be any place cold. I don't mind a nice spring. I haven't been to Medellin, so I don't know when they say eternal spring. I don't know what that feels like, but I don't know. Just give me a nice spring weather.
Medellin is on my list. I just went to Cartagena, and now I'm like, I have to go everywhere in Colombia now because I love
Oh,
it.
do you? You liked it? You loved it? See,
I
and
loved
see
it.
again, it's on the other side of the world. What am I supposed to do? Because if I get over there, I don't want to stay over there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm,
Even
I'm,
because even when people ask me, for instance, like, would I get residency in Mexico, or like, is there any other country in Latin America I would live in? It's too close. Do you know what I mean? Too close to the
mhm.
US. So it's like I
Yeah.
feel like if something happens, right? So like hypothetical dystopian worst case scenario, something happens, I want to be as far as possible, right?
Really
I don't want to be 2 hours away by plane, 3 hours away by plane.
right.
I just don't.
And the real, yeah, and the realization once you live over here in this Southeast Asia, I can get, it's just what makes sense. I can get
Mm,
the same quality of life for less. I say I'm not missing out on anything, whether it's the food, well, some of the food, because I'm tired of the food in Asia, but you know what I mean in terms of the quality. I'm talking about the quality of the services, the things that I can get. You know, shopping. I can go shopping if I need something because Da Nang doesn't have any malls. I can go to KL or I can go to Bangkok, you know, to get what I need. And why would I pay that? Because I'm just thinking about me. It would truly be a desire because of France,
hmm
where that euro was kicking my butt for 2 weeks when I compared it. I'm like, but I get the same quality. It's a difference in the atmosphere. Of course, it's different. But when you look at it and say, is that logical?
I mean,
Can
it's the
you
same
can you
thing
just
when I think
make
about,
here and then come here?
well, when you think about like, so there are certain hubs that I think digital nomads go to, right? So like Spain is a big one, Portugal is another one.
Hmm.
And then I've seen some people really be interested in France.
Hmm.
But in comparison, Southeast Asia is like significantly cheaper than
It
anywhere in the world.
is. And it's a great quality of living.
Right.
So you just balance that and say, well, maybe again, that's when you come back. What do you like? Okay, you spend 3 months there and then you go spend 3 months here and then you come back. You know,
hmm
you offset. That's what we do as a nomad. That's what I do as a nomad. I offset. You know, this place, whether it's your housing, you may pay more over here, and then you say, okay, I won't pay as much over here. You just offset to balance it of what you need at the time. And so that just maybe you won't live there, but you can go for a couple of months, hang out, and then come back. But that coming back, travel is exhausting. That's the biggest, if I would say anything, I guess the biggest drawback of a nomad life is the planning process of where it's not even the flights, it's just where you're going to stay. You got to do your research, whether
Mm.
it's your budget and just is it safe? Is it comfortable? Is it convenient? So accommodations, that's where the bulk of your money goes and the majority of your budget. And I put a lot of time into where I'm going to stay. And so for me, it's a process. I don't just pick a place. Sometimes I do, depending on, I'm just going to show up and pick a hotel. That's different. But if I gotta, is that, if I'm planning to stay a little while. Uh-uh.
Yeah,
So I put
because
a
I
lot of
think
effort
when
and
you
time
have,
into it.
I know, and I think when you have the time, you realize that your neighborhood and even sometimes the building that you're staying in can dictate your experience of a place. Like
It can.
you may love you may love a country, you may love a city, but you don't love the accommodation, and that dictates the whole experience. But because you have the
Miserable.
time to try somewhere else, like there are people who go, for instance, you love Paris, right? There are people who go to Paris, they hate it, but then when you start asking questions, well, what neighborhood did you stay in, or
Hmm.
how long did you stay there? And it's like those little things could completely change your experience, but
Right.
you don't get to see that because you're only staying for a week, 2 weeks at a time. If
Right.
you're in a
Right.
place for a month, or at max, like let's say you're staying in a place for 3 months, you really could change your accommodation every other day if you wanted to find a place that worked for you.
Right, right, and that's what I've done. That's what
hmm
I've been all over Vietnam. I've stayed in several places throughout Vietnam, several places throughout Malaysia. Even though I have my spots I like, but I've been depending on what city I go to, I just try different places just to find my spot. Do I like the beach side? Do I like the river side? Where's my little nook? Where's my coziness? So I have
Right.
time to do those things. But I put, like I said, I put time into finding those places and the research. And then travel day is like, oh my God, you got to go through immigration. You got to pack. I travel with one suitcase and a backpack, but it's not that's not as exhausting, but it's the people at the airport. Everybody got this I'm never coming back luggage. Why y'all got all this luggage? Then you got to stand in line. And then you got rude people. You got people coughing. You got hacking, sneezing, not covering their mouth. They know that in Southeast Asia. Ugh. It's just, it's very exhausting. That's the exhausting part. If you could just put me up and like, place me good.
Oh yeah, I say that all the time. I actually don't like traveling. I like being
Yeah.
in a new place. If they get up,
Right.
if they get the flu network up and running, if everybody can figure out how to apparate, if we can transport, via thought, I'm gonna be the first person bopping
Yeah.
around. But getting
Right.
on a plane, dealing with airport, like
Right. It's
figuring out
exhausting.
transportation from airport to accommodation, I hate all of that. All of that, I
Yeah.
hate it, and it stresses me out. And then I always stay in my hotel room for like at least 2-3 days afterwards because I
Oh,
can't.
do you?
I build it in. I have to. I can't.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. See, I just use for roaming and just relaxing, getting settled and strolling the neighborhood. But it's so funny because when I go to places, I love this. Oh, I said, oh, when I was in Japan, I was like, oh, it took me, because Japan accommodations are very expensive for what you get. So I
Really.
put a lot of time in finding my accommodations and trying to find reasonable accommodations that match, comfort levels and convenience. And so I did a great job with that. And just walking around, I was like, oh, this feels good. Just walking around, not all the stuff I had to put into to get here, but
Mm.
just I love just being in a new city, exploring, and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. Hong Kong, I absolutely love. I was like, I could live here. If too expensive though, but I'm like, oh, I just have a good time just walking down the streets. Oh, so I like the feel of going to a new place, Taiwan and Taipei. So I love that new feel, that feel of going to a new place and just exploring and, you know, just, oh, this is refreshing.
What do you feel about travel? What do you think travel has taught you about yourself?
Oh, let me see. I think travel has taught me adaptability, that I can adapt. This is one of those things it's taught me where I feel good, that I can land any place in the
Mm.
world, despite the language barrier, despite not even knowing the place, knowing people there on my own and figure it out. Thanks to technology with the directions on our phones and just I'm like, I'm doing this. I figured this out. Whether it's a new path, how do I get back to my hotel without asking anyone? I can figure that out. The
Mm.
train system. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, the train system is difficult and challenging." I'm used to trains. I'm like, how? What makes it difficult? They have the signs. Maybe the arrows. I can see the arrows. Might be a little challenging to figure it out, but you just turn around and go back the opposite direction. And so I feel good. I'm like, yeah, I figured that out. I figured that out. So it's taught me that you can adapt and you just use what you have wherever you are. All your skills come into play, and that no matter where you are, you'll be okay. You don't have to have anybody with you. Sometimes we think we need, which is nice if we do. Sometimes, yeah, a man would be great because can you take my luggage? Because I don't.
Yeah. Oh my God,
I'm not into that.
I am
Yes,
a
honey, you can
strong,
take my
independent
luggage.
woman. I am a strong, independent woman until it is time for me to carry something. Oh my God,
Yeah.
can't do it.
No, no. Yeah. I look, I'm gonna let him lead the way. I just want to follow him. At this point, I'm
Absolutely,
gonna follow you. I don't fight, I'm gonna follow you. You think that's the
absolutely.
path we take? We together, we'll work out. Okay, I'll take that path. You got the directions? Good. So I don't have to take that burden off of me, take that load off of me. But it feels good to know that I'll be okay by
Yeah.
myself. I can figure it out no matter, even with language barriers, and how you communicate with people and just approach them and um, your, the way you communicate with people. It doesn't matter. I can communicate with everybody and anybody. And so that feels good to know that I can go any place in the world, and be good. So
Yeah.
it's taught me that, hey, I can do whatever it is I want to do. I can adapt. I have to adjust and be patient, and you'll be okay. So that's what it's taught me to
That's
go
beautiful.
to go out there and do it. Don't stop. Even when you're scared, even when you fear, just go do it. Sometimes you're like, hey, where am I? What am I doing? Where am I? You know what I mean? You're like, I'm good. I'm good. Figure it out. You figure it out. So not
That's
that I'm
beautiful.
not. Yeah. So we all have our
And
challenges, but
yes, and I love what you said, like, because I think a lot of people feel like, you know, if you are living in the US right now and you're like working your job, you're going into the office every day and you're dreaming of this other lifestyle, like you're dreaming of living abroad, you're dreaming of traveling more, it's hard to see how to get there. So that's why I think your message is so important because you just figuring it out as you go along and you're
yeah.
learning about yourself, you're learning about what you're able to do through these experiences.
Right. And it definitely builds confidence. And it's not, I'm not a confident person, but when you go someplace and you don't know anyone, you don't even know the language, people not talking to you, but you figured out how to get what you need or go where you need to be. You're like, I figured it out on my own. And you're proud and you're confident to know, oh, yeah, I got this. And so it
Yeah.
allows you to go into other spaces just as confident. It allows you to deal with people. Look, I was over here and where by myself figuring out the lay of the land. So I'm gonna be scared to walk in here and talk to you? No,
Right.
please. No,
Yeah.
no, no.
No,
So that
that's
exudes
true.
in other things that you do in life.
That's true.
Y-
I think
Yeah.
also I think also it's helped me in terms of business. So like in freelancing, it's like I
Hmm.
don't see those barriers anymore. Like, oh, I can't talk to that person. Even with the Awkward Black Nomad YouTube channel, I reach out to everybody. Okay?
Hmm.
Why not? Why
Why
wouldn't
not?
why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they talk to me? Like,
Right. Why wouldn't
it's
they
just a
talk to you?
conversation. Everything is just a conversation.
Right.
And I almost feel like travel helps you break down any like barrier that you might have when it comes to just talking to new people or confidence or like I'm a self-identified introvert, so sometimes I don't like talking to
Hmm.
people, but it's like, look at what I'm doing right now. So
Right.
anybody I hope that anybody who watches this video gets the wherewithal, gets the confidence to just take a little step towards the life that you want to live. Shawn, I really appreciate you chatting with me. I feel like we've had a beautiful conversation.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I've seen your other shows. You're excellent. I love your personality. I love your skills. And it's just so organic and natural. And that's what I like. Just we're talking, having a conversation. And I love the questions that you're asked, relevant, and trying to help others out there do the same thing as we show them through our experiences and share with them our lifestyle and our ups and our challenges and peaks and valleys. And I tell people, and I have my pick my brain sessions, to help
Mhm.
them make it a seamless transition as they move abroad. But I tell you, it's something that you have to experience for yourself to feel. And I have one client said, I could just look at your face. I want that same feeling. And I could see her transition as she's going through this process of how her whole demeanor has changed. and I see the spark. I see, the excitement and just, oh, I got something to look forward to. But as much as I tell you, until you feel it and experience it for yourself, I can't. You see it on me. And she, talks about how she see it on me. I said, I will see it on you. You will see it on yourself because it's a feeling, and that's why I go back to ask yourself, how do you want to feel? And you need to be in those places that make you. You need to design your life, which I did. Design your life to be in those places that make you feel like that. Some trial and error, and that's okay. That's how we learn. That's how we know our place and what feels good to us. So just once you feel it, they can come back to us and say, girl, I know what you're talking about. I know what you mean.
So like
I
I'm
know.
gonna wrap this interview, but I'm getting a message. I'm getting a message that's for me because I literally was talking to somebody on my channel yesterday about designing your life. And it's so funny that you use that specific language with me. I'm gonna receive it as a message, child. I've been
Receive it.
saying 2026 Kyoko will be in Japan. That's what I said. I'm receiving
Yes.
it as a message. I need to do more of
Receive
designing
it.
my life. But thank you
Yes.
again, Shawn, for coming
Thank
on this
you.
channel and
I
interviewing
appreciate
me.
it.
Thank you guys for sitting on the
Thank
line
you.
with us and watching us. And I hope you got a lot of amazing insights about Vietnam, about Southeast Asia. Shawn, you are welcome down to the channel anytime you feel like you just want to chat,
Thank you.
you just want to talk.
Oh,
Okay,
that feels good.
listen, you can come down to the channel anytime. I feel like I can talk to you forever. Okay.
Right, right. We could just talk on and
I
on.
know we can talk forever. Y'all, Shawn has these Pick My Brain sessions. If you want to know any insights about Southeast Asia, if you are looking to move abroad and you need help planning, if you just want to talk it through, your goals, things to look forward to, these Pick My Brain sessions are extremely valuable. I'll have a link to it in the comment section and also the description of this video. And Law, she done froze. Oh, she's back with us. Okay.
I was just still. I was listening.
So okay. But thank you all for joining us tonight. If you have not liked the video, child, we'll be doing like the video, okay? If you are not subscribed to the Awkward Black Nomad, subscribe to the Awkward Black Nomad. Follow Awkward Black Nomad on all the social media platforms. What else is there? You can now become a channel member. This is a small way to support the channel and let the YouTube algorithm know that this is the kind of content that you enjoy. If you have any questions for Shawn or for me, put them in the comment section if you are catching the replay. And as always, y'all, stay black. Peace out.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you.
We did a thing. We did a thing.